Hola, bon dia. Carl Munson here with the Good Morning Portugal live stream, YouTube channel and podcast. And yes, we've been talking a lot about talking in Portuguese. I mean, I can't do the whole show in Portuguese yet, but maybe that day will come one day. And here to help us this morning is Mia. And I did ask her how to pronounce the name correctly. I'm going to go with Esmerish and find out if I've got a thumbs up from the green room. Yes, I have. Mia Esmerish from Learn European Portuguese is with us this morning. She's our savior in helping us learn Portuguese. Fingers crossed. Putting some links in the chat for you, which are the links to her fabulous courses that we're going to discover more about in just a while. Before we go there, of course, we'll have a quick look at the weather and a news story, which is very appropriate. It's the rise in applications for citizenship, the highest number since 1976, apparently. So let me just do the weather firstly. In the capital this morning, 20 degrees and clear, currently rising to a lovely 31 degrees later on today. And I think you've got Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday looking very similar with temperatures around the 30 mark. Porto at the moment, 18 degrees and clear, rising to 26. And similarly, actually a really nice week, a cloudless week ahead with those very comfortable mid-20 temperatures. Coimbra at the moment, 16 degrees and clear. Not in my part of the world, actually. We're pretty much between Aveiro and Coimbra, and it's looking like quite a muted, cloudy day out there, but apparently it will rise to 29 degrees in Coimbra, and yeah, 3 cloudless days, cloud returning on Friday, but some very respectable and enjoyable temperatures for Coimbra. And finally in Faro this morning, 21 degrees and clear, rising to 28. A little bit cloudy tomorrow, but that will go, making way for an expected high of 33 degrees on Thursday. How fabulous is that? And a lovely weekend to look forward to down there in the south. Okay, and let us have a look, of course. Oh, actually, before we do that, thank you to, I'll just show you the starter screen again, now that there are a few people here. This cuts my sound, but take a quick look. Thank you to Ruth for that. For the podcast listeners, that was a picture of Ruth's morning view. And normally we do, obviously, a Portuguese morning view. But Ruth is a listener in France, hoping to come to Portugal soon. And what a delightful view she has there. So, hola, bon dia to you, Ruth, in France this morning. Keep those coming in. Carl@carlmunson.com is my email address if you'd like to send me your morning view. You know, generally speaking, it will be a pretty view from your window, but I'm open to surprises as well. I mean, you know, not too surprising. Bom dia, Carl, tudo bem? Sim, e consigo. Frank Devane, the man of the moment when it comes to the Expat Sports Report. He'll be back again on Friday, and I suspect we'll see him before then in our wine club, the Good Morning Portugal Wine Club, on Thursday evening, where Gary Reality Check Austin has found us the rosé that we'll be tasting on Thursday. So I think Frank will be in the room for that as well. Hopefully Kevin will as well. Kevin was the new star of the wine club who joined us last Thursday. He did try the whole bottle, to be fair, and wasn't impressed. And I don't know if he's a rosé fan or not. We'll find out on Thursday. Bon dia, Carl, from Henry Jeffries. I'm guessing in the UK at the moment. Good morning to you, Henry. Jim McDonald says, Guten Morgen. That's different. Carl from Germany, from Wiesbaden, to be exact. Hola, bon dia. Star of last night's Good Evening Portugal phone-in. The phone-in works, folks. He tried it last night. He called up, and it was like a proper phone-in show. So do remember, 913-590-303 is the number to call if you want to join me for a leisurely, respectful and interesting conversation in the evenings, usually from 10 o'clock. The wine club being exception at 9. Morning, Carl. You're looking fresh and sprightly this morning. Do I not always, Gary? Should I worry? It's this shirt, isn't it? It's this shirt that's doing it. It's making me look like some sort of rude boy ska music fan, I think. The skinhead kind of helps with that, doesn't it? Maximum of 34 degrees in Villa de Rey this morning from Owen. Great to talk to you last night, Owen. So thanks for calling in, and thank you for that weather report in Villa de Rey. Bon dia, Carl, from a very rainy Manchester. Where does the saying "raining cats and dogs" come from, I wonder, because it's doing that here in Manchester. I say, Claire and Steve, it's in for all day. It's a surprise in Manchester. Can't wait to get back to the sun. Lovely picture from Ruth. It was, wasn't it? Makes a change to see French Hola Bon Dia picture. Hola Bon Dia from the middle of Storm Francis here on the south coast of England. Crikey, yeah, we've only just recovered, or you've only just recovered from Ellen, Depression Ellen, and now you've got Storm Francis. I hope that passes without great incident there, Paul, and hoping your recovery is continuing steadily and positively as well. Very good program last night, Owen. Carl, sorry I missed it live. Not at all, Gary. We've got lives. I mean, you remember what Ferry said? He can only listen to me in the morning, because if he listens to me in the evening, he's going to be hearing more of me than he is of his own wife. So I do understand it. You know, it's pick and mix. Enjoy the bits you want to. No need to apologize for missing any of it. However, having said that, it is all available for forever, immortally on the internet if you ever want to see anything that you think you might have missed. But good morning to you, Gary. Can't miss Gary's rosé on Thursday. Okay. Telogo, Carl, Portuguese soil awaits us today. Wow. So you're leaving today to come back. That's amazing, Henry. A real fan. You're part of the news story I'm just about to detail, I suspect. Hola, bon dia from Eugene, from a very grey and wet Donegal in Ireland there. So good morning to you, Eugene. And from Pete, muito bom dia. Very good day, passant, to everybody. Hoje vou visitar as piscinas fluviais de Feijão e Pessegueiro. He's going to the river beach, everybody, at Feijão. You've got to be careful, because I'll make it sound like beans. It's Feijão, not rather than Feijão. And Mia is laughing in the green room at my pronunciation already. E Pesseguero. She's being kind, I think. She's shaking a finger at me. Oh, no, thumbs up, 2 thumbs up. Excellent. We'll bring her on in just a moment. Can't wait. But just quickly to go to the news story of this morning. Look at this, everybody. We have from the PortugalNews.com, the foreign resident population in Portugal has increased for the 4th consequent year, the highest since 1976. A new report said that there was an increase of almost 23% last year in foreign citizens holding a residence permit. Wow. Between 2015 and 2019, the number of foreigners in Portugal increased by around 200,000. That's a lot of people, isn't it? More than 74,000 foreign citizens applied for Portuguese nationality in 2019, the highest value of the last 5 years. Brazilians remain the main foreign community residing in the country, followed by Cape Verdeans and Britons. And of course, you know, the connection between Brazil and Cape Verde is obvious and historical. Not so much apart from the Treaty of Windsor with the British, but in 3rd place, the British. And I am one of those who has become a resident. And of course, to become a citizen, you need to learn the language. And that's great news, because we have Mia with us this morning. Mia Eshmarish, how are you this morning? I'm
very good, thank you. And you?
I'm really well, yeah, and delighted to have you here, because people have been getting really scared and worried about learning the Portuguese language. And I spoke to you briefly before, and you know, the normal question is it difficult? And you straight up said, yes, it is. Would you like to say more about that?
Well, I'm not saying that it's the most difficult language in the world. I mean, there is no poll for that. Actually, there is a poll for that. I was just kidding. There was some poll that said that Portuguese is like the 6th or 7th language, actually the easier 6th or 7th language for English-speaking people.
Yes.
I posted it on my Instagram and I got mixed answers from people. So they said, no way, it's much more difficult than that, you know, can't be the 6th language.
Well, it's relative, isn't it? Because I think, you know, we share a Latin root in our languages, which makes it a little bit easier. Anyone who learnt French or Spanish maybe will see some similarities, but it's not Mongolian or Mandarin, is it? To be fair,
no, exactly. Yeah. So there are some similarities. You'll see some words that are similar as well. You know. It's not like, it's not Mandarin for sure, you know, and you have the same alphabet and so on. So that helps.
Yeah, that's right. Stop moaning, everybody, and think yourselves lucky. Mia is here to help us with this, with a really beautiful website. Actually, I should share that during our conversation at the risk of crashing the show. But your website is excellent. Need to find out, of course, where you are in Portugal. You are native Portuguese, right?
I'm a native Portuguese, which I think it's important in a teacher, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's really good to get the sounds of Portuguese right from the beginning, and therefore, I mean, you can learn from someone that is not a native, but you risk not getting the sounds, well from the beginning, and then it's going to be much harder to learn them later on at a later stage. So yes, I'm a native speaker. I'm from Porto in Portugal. Yeah. You're right. The weather is really nice here right now. Like finally, right? Finally.
Yeah, you've got a lovely week to look forward to, according to my sources. Really anyway. Great. And how did you get into this? I mean, I know you love languages. You know, on your website, you've been fascinated and you've loved learning languages since you were a child. But how did it turn into being, a teacher and having this amazing online language empire now?
So I finished my degree in teaching Portuguese to foreigners or as a second language in 2011, 2012. And then actually I went to Holland. I lived in Holland for 3 years.
Oh, wow.
And there I started like teaching some private classes to some students. I also taught English. It might seem weird, but that happened, but it was to little children. So it was very basic, everything. But yeah, so I was there for 3 years. I also studied linguistics there. And then I thought, well, I would really like to do something more, serious in this area. So I then after 3 years, I came back to Portugal. I started teaching on italki. I don't know if people know this.
Heard of it? Yeah, absolutely. And is that like a one-to-one service and like a live teaching situation?
Yeah, so that's one-to-one classes mostly. You can have like up to 2 or 3 students if they don't mind being in the same webcam and so on. Okay. So yeah, I was teaching there for, I don't know, 2 years, more or less. And then like I started having really good feedback from my students and I started getting more and more, it's like a bit of a snowball. So more people wanted classes with me. And then like I started thinking, well, there is such a lack of European Portuguese materials out there. So why not starting a blog, right? Yeah. So that's how it started. I started writing a blog and then people started commenting, started, sharing, starting saying, oh, this is really good. I couldn't find anything in European Portuguese and this is really great. And then I had the idea to make an online course because I wanted to reach more students. And this is the best way to do so because, even to one-on-one classes, I started not having enough time for everyone. And then it was just way too much. So I thought, this can be a really great way to reach more people. It's more flexible, then you don't have to find the same times and so on. So
indeed. And then here it is. I've got it on the screen now. These are all your various courses that you do. Great news there. Free course, Kickstart Your Portuguese to Basics. Please, if you want to try these, and I suggest you do, because I think the more sources and the more ways you can stimulate your imagination, your creativity, and your commitment to learning, the more ways the better. So, and you can see Mia is offering a free course here. The links to that, it will help out the Good Morning Portugal project if you use the affiliate links. Okay, so we are crowdfunded, and if you go via the affiliate links in the first comments, that will really help us here at Good Morning Portugal. But look at all of this. You can do a crash course as well for $60 there. Interactive stories in Portuguese, European Portuguese speech course, A1 to B2, A1 to A2. So you've got it all. I think you've got all the bases covered there, basically, right? You really have a comprehensive approach, Mia, it would appear.
Yeah, so like the Kickstarter course, I really would advise people to take that, especially beginners, like true beginners, because it will give you an idea of how these courses are kind of structured, how they work, because some people don't know how is it an online course, right? It's a kind of a new approach to language learning for many people.
True.
So you can get a feeling, I think you can say it like that, of how these courses go, right? Yeah. And you can see my teaching style and whether you like it or not. So some people will like it, some won't. So
without having to spend a single centimos on that.
Exactly.
So really,
sem cêntimos. Não se gasta nada. You don't spend anything. So and then like I started with the master course. Actually, I started with the A1 level. My European Portuguese master course has now 4 levels. So it goes from the level A1 up to the level B2. So the level the A1 and A2 is for beginners, and then B1, B2 intermediate students. And I followed the European framework of reference for languages, which tells us teachers what students should know at each level. So I covered those topics that you need to know, and grammar, vocabulary, pronunciation, etc. So someone is saying that my pronunciation course is fabulous. Sorry, I was reading
It's very distracting, but I thought I'd put it up there. This is Shelley saying, hi, Mia. I have your A1 to B2 course. Your pronunciation course is fabulous. Good morning to you, Carl. So good morning to you, Shelley. And how lovely to have a testimonial from you while Mia is on the show with us this morning.
Thank you. I'm glad.
Praise there.
Yeah, so the A1, B2 course is the master course, what Shelley, I believe is the name is correctly said, Shelley. This is European Portuguese master course, and this is like for those people who kind of like a more traditional approach, but it's not really traditional. I don't really like this word because I still, it sounds like very boring traditional things in a classroom. Well, I try to use like innovative. Is it the way you say it? I never know how to say this word. Innovative techniques. Like I try to bring real Portuguese into the classes. So like I get interviews from one side, and I get videos in Portuguese. I get series in Portuguese. You know, I try to make you engage with the language, and that's important. And also, this is like, I don't know if I should give a big tip for people who are trying to learn the language.
You know what? This lot here, they need all the help they can get, as far as I can tell. But no disrespect to anybody, but I think a lot of us, we're just babies, basically, when it comes to the language. And then we're thinking, a lot of people here want to become citizens ultimately. And, you know, they're getting into 2, 3, 4 years, oh my goodness, 5 years they can properly apply it, and they need to do the language thing, and then they get their skates on. So all the help you can give us this morning is very welcome and well received. So go ahead.
So for those people who really want to learn the language, my number 1 tip, it seems really like straightforward, but it's like you have to commit and you have to be consistent, because without that, it's like very difficult that it's going to happen. So this is my number 1 tip. And now a more linguistic kind of tip is you have to listen to the language. You would like be amazed of how much listening can help you learning the language, even with your speaking, even with your, like, for sure, your understanding, you know. This is really the number 1 thing. And like, I know that now I have story time, which is like my membership course. It's like, you sign up and then you have every month 4 new stories in Portuguese. I wrote the stories and I'm reading them. So it's all original stuff. But like, you have to listen to these stories many, many, many times, you know, and in chunks. And you are requested, you are asked to then in a later stage interact with those stories through questions. So imagine the stories like Maria is a girl and she lives in Porto. You know, it's going to be much more than this, but I'm just giving an example. And then you listen to this many times. First, you start taking the keywords and to try and understand a bit more. And then you listen again and you listen again. And you will see that your brain starts creating those pathways that will allow you to understand more and more the more you listen to the language. And then at a later stage, I'm going to ask you, so I'm going to read again a sentence or chunk by chunk. I'm going to say, Maria is from Porto. I already forgot what I said. Maria is a girl and she's from Porto. And then I'm going to ask you, who is Maria? And then you're supposed to answer as fast as you can, you know, and as without thinking so much, you know. The key here is to start creating, these pathways that I say, that you can just start speaking almost without thinking so much, you know, and it eventually will come more naturally to you. And then you won't get like this stuck so much when you're speaking to native speakers. I also have this with other languages, so it's natural to have that. So,
but I recognize that moment, and you've obviously seen me speaking Portuguese, because that was a really good impersonation of me out and about speaking with people, and that and like, you know, saying sorry and walking away. But yes, it's the comprehension thing, because of course that's a part of the examination, isn't it? Is the comprehension.
Also,
so
yes,
it's a good point you make. Listen loads. Don't worry so much about having to speak. It seems it's really important as well to listen. I mean, that's good. That's good advice in life anyway, isn't it? But
yes, exactly.
Yeah, you know, 2 ears, 1 mouth, as it were. And so you have these story times, which is great, because that'll be really reassuring for all the newbies as well, to be able to sit down and listen to a story time with Mia, and then test it on their comprehension. That's fantastic. Mia, you make a very clear distinction with the name of your site, European Portuguese. We've had a question. Bom dia, Car. A few questions about what are the major differences between Brazilian Portuguese and European Portuguese. This is a good question from Sam. Can I start learning both and then perfect my European pronunciation? Or are there major spelling/grammatical differences? Should Sam do one at a time, or pick one or the other? Or is it advisable to try and do both?
So, of course, naturally, Brazilian Portuguese and European Portuguese is a bit like American English and British English. So you will be able to understand more. So the European Portuguese speaking people will understand Brazilian Portuguese people better. The other way around, it tends to be a bit more difficult. So if the goal is to learn European Portuguese, I would kind of steer away from Brazilian Portuguese right at the beginning, because somehow it is true that Brazilian Portuguese, it's a little bit easier to learn in terms of pronunciation. And then it's going to be quite difficult to, you know, tone it down, because Brazilians, they speak like G's, you know. It's more like, it's very happy. I mean, I love Brazilian Portuguese. But then it's going to be harder again to get the sounds of European Portuguese going good again, you know, like it's going to be really hard to get them. This is why I say it's really important to start with the sounds of the language and to start doing it from the beginning correctly. I also have, I didn't mention this course either, but I also have a speech course which actually tackles exactly the sounds of the language. I see it, you have it there, it's a bit more down. So there, European Portuguese speech course.
Okay.
You passed it already, I think.
Sorry. You've got so many.
It's there.
I'm one of your most popular, of course, there.
Many of those are also like the master course, but divided, because I have the master course as a bundle. A1 to B2, and that comes at 15% discount if you buy the whole bundle. And then I have the bundle for beginners, A1, A2, and I have the bundle for intermediates, B1, B2. So that's, therefore you have also so many. And then the rest is story time, the speech course, and the crash course as well.
It's amazing what you're doing. You used the word innovative earlier on. I mean, you are taking a traditional approach, as you say, with the cutting edge technology here. So that, you know, that's not easy for people. It sounds like you've got it all going on there, which is great. A few comments coming in. Well, we hope that's helped, Sam. So the advice there probably is to stick to, if you're coming to Portugal, learn the European. Don't make it difficult for yourself. Learn the European Portuguese, and then you'll probably be able to express yourself if ever you went to Brazil anyway, by the sound of it. Any other questions for Mia? Do put them in the comments. A few comments coming in. Hola, bon dia from a rainy, windy Salisbury. I've never been to Portugal, but I have had a hankering for it for years. Yes, scratch that itch, Adrienne, is our advice to you. Yeah, come over. And it's easier now, of course, coming from the UK. Thank you, Frank. Carl is rocking the Portuguese. Beauty.
You are.
Thank you so much.
I wanted to tell you, you said my name perfectly. Much better than Portuguese people. I'm not kidding.
Wow. Okay. Well, I'm not going to attempt it twice and embarrass myself because I can't remember what I did the first time. This is what I do is I take a run up and just do it. And then I don't always remember to do it correctly the second time. Off to Foz de Alge, our local river beach today to try out the new kayak. That sounds like fun, Thai. Excellent. Bon dia from Belgium here, from Jeannie and everyone on here. Começamos com curso de português de ano aqui na Bélgica. So it looks like Jeannie's been doing a Portuguese course in Belgium for a year, right? So she's ahead of the game. Good work, Jeannie. Well done. Taking it seriously, like you were saying, Mia. Get committed, go for it. Say hello to Darren Thomas, who will be down there on his boat in the mini marina. Would you like to say hello in Portuguese to Darren Thomas, Mia?
Yeah, olá, tudo bem? Como é que estão?
Much better than me doing it. Good morning from sunny Fundao from Julie. Good morning to you. We're doing rosé on the Wine Club on Thursday night, Julie. Do join us for that. Yeah, there you go. There was your earlier excellent feedback from Shelley, who loves what you do.
I'm happy.
Yeah, well, credit where it's due there, and we've put the affiliate links in there, so you can learn Portuguese and support the Good Morning Portugal live stream project as well. In association, of course, every morning with Expats Portugal. Good morning to those of you from the expatsportugal.com community who joined us. Yeah, you know those guys?
No, I mean, yeah, I know those. I know the page, yes.
Okay. Here is a specific question from, this is like sort of vocal exercise. It reminds me of like, Pygmalion. What was the name of that when it was a film? But anyway, any tip for rolling R's if you don't learn from a young age? Have you got any tips with that? How to get better at that for Thai? Yes.
So again, this is exactly what I'm targeting, for example, in my speech course. And the for rolling R's, you mean like the right? I think that's the one, not the strong one, but the soft R, like
Yeah.
So yeah, no, that one is the hard one, I guess. Like it's from here, so it's a guttural sound. That's the hard one, like in the word rato.
Oh right, okay. So we've got complexity now.
So there are two types of R's basically. It's that's the one that comes from your throat. You have to make sure that your throat is vibrating, like okay. So rato. All right.
Yes.
And then you have the softer R, which I think this is what Thai wants to say here, which is the. So it's just like a flip of the tongue. So it's basically a little bit like the R in Spanish. Like the R in Spanish, they roll it really like, So, and this one is like you take a little portion of that R and that's it. So it's just one time, like, I don't know if you can see it in my tongue, but it's like your tongue has to like flip against the upper part really fast, against here, the palate, right? So,
okay, all right. I see you opening your mouth. I heard a funny explanation of how Portuguese people speak Portuguese is that they are always hungry, their words as well. But what I saw you doing there was like you opened your mouth up to allow the sound to happen. So that's a good tip as well, I think, isn't it? To be more expressive, possibly.
Exactly. You have to open the mouth a little bit.
We've got a little bit of a difficulty with our connection here.
Yeah. I don't know if you can.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's happening with the connection. We could by internet issue, but I hope you can hear us okay, and that you got the gist of that.
Hello. I don't know if people can hear me still.
I wonder if Mia has tried Professor Paolo's teaching techniques. It really loosens the tongue, stops you being embarrassed by mistakes, and is sponsored by Sagresh. Would you approve of that method? I think we're talking about Sagresh and Bokdown. I know that Superbock have named the lockdown the Bokdown. Is it a good idea to drink and speak?
You know what? For some people, it's really a good idea. Like for me and my German, for example, it's really like it loosens my tongue like crazy. So yes, it can be. I don't know if it's good for long-term learning, but for sure at the moment might work. I don't know if it's good to, you know, get drunk all the time, but
well, there. Okay, so we'll take a balanced approach from there. Drink responsibly, and just maybe enough Sagresh or Superbock or your favoured booze to help loosen the tongue. Jeannie has just signed up with you as well. That's fantastic news. And I'm being told you're fine. It's me that's the problem. Thank you for that, Paul, in tech support there. But I think we've figured that out now. Gary, see, these guys are fantastic. They've been trying what you've been talking about. I've just tried the difficult R. That's a thing now. It's called #difficult R, and I sound like an angry pet. Yeah. We'll forgive you, Gary. We'll forgive you. I think that's going to be all right.
You know what? Portuguese people sound like angry pets many times. So people think we're mad, and actually we're not mad. We're just like speaking to our mother about the weather. But it's like, yes, okay, no, okay.
Yes, of course. So there you go, Gary. You've nailed it by the sound of it. Do not be too British and self-conscious. It sounds like you've completely got the hang of it there. If you're sounding like an angry pet, you're on target. Do not worry. Mia is still clear with sound. We've just lost you, Carl. So
that's because I asked if people could hear me when you were kind of like away. I was like, hello?
They don't care. They don't care. Yeah, they don't care if I've gone or I'm having technical problems. It's you they want to hear. So Mia, what other tips would you like to share before we conclude?
Well, again, you have to be very patient with yourself.
Yes.
You know, and with the listening exercise, for example, it's not going to be easy at the beginning because your brain is like any other muscle. And, you know, you don't get muscles from one day to the other, do you? It would be cool. I would be rich by now if I could give some formula like that. But unfortunately, it's not like that. But as with any other muscles, the more you train, the more your brain is going to develop the skills that you need to start understanding and then speaking. You're going to, I think if you stick to it, you're going to be amazed by how much you can really learn. And it doesn't really matter the age, you know, it doesn't matter if you have a language gene. I hear this a lot. Oh, I don't have the language gene, you know, that there's no such thing as a language gene. You know, I've studied linguistics, as I said, and I never heard of any language gene. So it's really about motivation, perseverance, which I have a hard time saying in English. Like you have to continue going, you have to commit, listen to the language. And don't be shy. You know, Portuguese people really love it when you start speaking to them in Portuguese. I love it personally. Yeah. It's like you're trying, you know. And they will try to change to English. So just say, sorry, could we stick to Portuguese because I'm trying to learn, you know, like, and they will then be patient and really tell you, yeah, sure. And they're going to try to help you, I'm sure.
Yes, I think we've all noticed that Portuguese people do want to speak English as well, or some do. And then, yeah, you have to figure out some sort of balance or a trade of some kind. Yeah. What you're saying to us, me, is really fascinating because, like I said before, about the good life advice, of listening as much or if not more as speaking. You're also coming up with sort of general life lessons here that perseverance and commitment pays off in life, which is a general and good life philosophy, and the thing to be kind on yourself as well. Again, another great life philosophy, and especially so with the language, is to be easy on yourself and be gentle. Commit and persevere, and expect slow and steady results rather than trying to get it all. You're not going to learn it, like you say. You're not going to not everyone's going to have big muscles like me overnight, are they? No. It's going to take time, obviously. So that's perfect advice. Greetings from Southsea. Would love to live in Portugal, even if only for a couple of months during winter. I'm learning a few words and phrases in Portuguese. I find word order takes a bit of getting used to. What would you suggest there, Mia, for Mark? This is a matter of practice again, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a matter of practice, of course. Word order it can be a bit difficult, especially if you are German or something like that, because the word order goes totally the other way around. It's more like, I think, probably with the adjectives and the nouns, because in Portuguese they kind of like are the opposite from English, right? You say a good place, I say um sítio bom. So in English, the adjective comes before, and in Portuguese comes after.
Yes.
Normally, we do have some instances where it comes before, but that's just to convey a different, more powerful meaning. Anyways, I'm not going to go into so much technical things. But yeah, that might be what's confusing, for example. But again, yeah, it's a matter of practice. It's a matter of of continuing with it, and again, listening. I wanted to say also, I have a free resource for listening, which is my new podcast.
Cool.
Basically, yeah, I will give you the link later, maybe, and then you can post it also in your or in social media. But it's basically just me rambling on about different topics. So I'm just speaking normally, naturally, because that's the point, right? I want you to listen to true Portuguese. And again, I'm a native speaker, so I'm just speaking. I spoke already about my family, about my friends, and so on. So you can get to know a little bit about me as well through those podcast episodes. Did you freeze again, Carl? I think.
Oh, you back now? Sorry, we did have an outage there, of internet outage, but you're.
I think you're frozen again.
Carl, tenha lindo dia a todos. Have a great day, a beautiful day, everybody. Penny says, I got here a bit late this morning. Can I watch on catch up? Of course you can. All of these are done as a live stream, but you can watch them pretty much a few minutes after they've completed. And we've also got a YouTube channel. Question for you, Mia. Do you speak Dutch, and was it difficult to learn?
Ja, ik kan een beetje Nederlands praten. Spreken. I can speak a little bit of Dutch. That's what I said. It was difficult. In fact, not so much. And you know what? It was more from listening that I learned. There you go again. Because I knew German. I studied German at university, at school, in the university at school. So German and Dutch are a bit similar in many things. They come from the same family. And Dutch, for me, it's kind of a easier version of German, in my opinion. Like, the sounds are weird, but I really love it. I love weird languages. So yeah, I kind of picked it up by listening to people and listening to TV, and again, listening. It was not even so much from speaking. Then eventually I started speaking, but first I listened, and it just kind of started, my brain started to pick it up. That's how I did it.
Wonderful. Okay, yep. Your proof of your theory there. Owen rocking the Portuguese as well, in Frank's estimation. Yeah, it was just me. I'm so sorry about the technical problems. We don't normally have a lot of those, but apologies if that's interrupted your enjoyment of the show this morning, and interrupted your flow as well, Mia. We'll have to get you back another time, I think. And is this a bit familiar? Owen saying "Obrigado, meu irmão." Is that like thanks, my sister?
Yeah, my brother.
My brother. Okay, so he's talking to me. Okay, I do beg your pardon.
Irmão is brother, and irmã, which would be without the O. Irmã, that's sister. That's one of the problems there with Portuguese as well. The nasal sounds like yeah.
Oh, okay. Mia, you've been amazing this morning. Thank you so much. Let's just have another website, and the website address, the all-important website address would be learn-portuguese.org, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And also my email, it's mia@learn-portuguese.org. So
fantastic.
Someone wants to ask me something, I'm always there. Well, every step of the way. Also with my courses, I'm always available by email, by chat. So I'm always there. It's not like they get the course and then bye-bye. It's not like that. So.
It's not like a traditional social media company. There is a person at the other end who you can speak to, which is very reassuring, and a great service. You obviously love what you're doing. I wish you all the best with it, because it's a technology project, of course, as well as a language project, isn't it?
Yeah,
and
it is.
Doing a great job. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hope to see you again on Good Morning Portugal, or even in the evening. You can come on and join us on the Good Evening Portugal show and have a more leisurely chat. But thank you so much for being with us. All right.
Thank you for having me. Bye-bye, everyone. Beijinhos.
Beijinhos. Ciao, ciao. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao.
Wonderful. So there goes Mia, and learn-portuguese.org is where you need to go and check out. As I said before, we have our affiliate links in the comments there. It all helps. And good job. You speak well, Mia. I think Dutch and German are like Portuguese and Spanish. Okay, yeah, that's a pretty good comparison, isn't it? So thanks, Jeannie. Thank you, everyone, for your comments and involvement this morning. Have a great day. I'm going to do my full set of Portuguese goodbyes now, just to see if I can get some more positive affirmation from the teacher there. So like, te já, de próxima, hasta logo, beijinhos, abraços, ciao, ciao. I think that's all of them so far. But then you start again. You just start at the beginning and keep going until you finally put the phone down. Well, that's what I've noticed anyway. So bye, everybody. Ciao, ciao. See you tomorrow for the Wednesday show. And tonight, of course, another Thompson Tuesday on the Good Evening Portugal show. We'll be talking to that most interesting of fellows. And, of course, is Will Thompson. And I've just reminded myself, Pygmalion, of course, was made into the movie of My Fair Lady. Obviously, when you're doing languages and pronunciation, that comes to mind, or it does to me anyway. Ciao, Mia, says Frank. What about me, Frank? Goodbye to you as well, sir. Goodbye, everybody. Take care. See you tomorrow. See you this evening. Bye for now.